Welcome back to Relationships Ain't Easy. If this is your first time watching, you're in for a good one. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. So let's just jump into it. I'm gonna give you a little bit of backstory as I'm doing this. So I was talking with my wife and I had this epiphany. This epiphany hit me. And I was like, you know what? We need a new rating system. We need a brand new rating system. We need to just get rid of the old one. Or at least we need to tweak it. So maybe we don't need to get rid of it. We need to tweak it. So when I'm saying rating system, I'm talking about the rating system we use where we say, oh, she's a 10, he's a 10, or whatever rating, right? One being, I guess if you're one, it means nobody wants you, you're not attractive, I guess. And 10, it means, everybody's looking after you. Everyone's looking at you. And I guess it means like, you just can't look any better. You're a 10. That's almost like perfect, I guess. But I realize we need to change that system. There's a lot of flaws in it. But I want to tell you mostly maybe what the biggest flaw is. Okay? So I'm going to tell you the biggest flaw, maybe how we can fix it. Okay? I think we can fix it. I think it's going to be good. So let's just listen in. So the main problem is this system, this 1 to 10 system when we rate people, it's only based off of looks. I will say maybe it's 97, 98% looks, but then the other 2 to 3% is like first impressions, like, the feelings you got when you first met that person. So basically everything that's shallow. And there's nothing wrong with, looking attractive or wanting to have an attractive, husband or wife. Matter of fact, I would encourage you to make sure you don't marry someone who you're not attracted to. Okay. That would be bad. Trust me. You don't want to spend the rest of your life with someone you're not attracted to. But the issue with this rating system is, to be the 10, which is the best in the rating system, it's all about looks. And the issue is then people overvalue those looks. So it's like now all the focus is on looks. That's the problem, right? Because if you want a lifelong fulfilling marriage and you want to do it God's way, well, looks are a horrible indicator of how good the marriage is going to be. Matter of fact, the Bible says beauty is fleeting, and then it says charm is deceitful. So that can't be the only thing we look at. And I'm going to give you some case in points, okay? So I'm going to give you some scenarios. I want you to imagine yourself in here, okay? And these are going to prove, and you'll see where looks don't help with this at all. And then you're going to see, oh yeah, okay, these aren't really good indicators of a good marriage. So first one is, I want you to picture this. Envision yourself. You're in bed. You are awakened by your 3-month-old crying. You look over at the clock, it's 2:45 a.m. And this is the second time that your baby's woken you up this night. And it has been 3 months straight of you being woken up every night, at least 2 times every night like this, okay? So you're out of it. You are exhausted, had no sleep. Now, normally, the mom is the one that takes care of this because a lot of moms, they breastfeed, whatever. So in this scenario, I'm going to say, okay, imagine women that you're in this scenario. And then all of a sudden, your husband wakes up and says, hey, you just stay there. Don't worry about it. I'm going to go take care of the baby. I'm going to see if they need, some milk or whatever. So I got this. So you stay there and you rest, right? That sounds good. Yeah, those are the kind of marriages, those are the kind of actions that build lifelong fulfilling marriages. So let's pick on the guys now. So how there's all these memes where they tease about how, when dads or husbands get sick, they turn into babies. But anyway, so let's say, you got a cold, it's not nothing life threatening, but you definitely are going to be out for a few days. So the wife steps up and says, hey, look, I'm going to take care of the kids. I'm going to make sure they get to school. I'm going to, cook and all that stuff. And I'm going to keep them away from you so that you can get some rest, so you can go to sleep, you can take longer naps, et cetera. Basically, they're going to take care of you and cook some, chicken noodle soup, whatever, and take care of you so you can get better and get back up, right? those are the kind of things that make good marriages, a lifelong, fulfilling marriage. The point is, like in life, in I'll put it this way: in life, there's always something that's going to happen. Life is going to happen. There's going to be pressure put on you. So the same thing in marriage. There's going to be pressure put on you and the marriage, right? Someone may lose their job, so now there's financial pressure. And in that situation, it would be nice for the other person to say, okay, hey, I can pick up some extra shifts, or, whatever. I can, basically sacrifice more of my time to make sure that we can still pay these bills while you're looking for another job. There might be, it's not even doesn't have to be life threatening. It could just be, I don't know, you had surgery and maybe for the next 2 or 3 months you can't walk. So then, for better or worse, sickness or health, rich or poor. So then you're going to help take care of, your spouse, help them. Maybe you have to help them upstairs or whatever, help them get around the house because they can't walk. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, there's going to be something. There's going to be something with the house or something with the kids or whatever. There's always going to be, life is going to make sure that something's going to happen at some time. And I want you to understand that. So when the pressure comes on, it has the ability to either like push a wedge in between, you and your spouse, or it can be something that brings you guys back, brings you closer, right? The difference is going to be character. And for right now, we're talking about, looking for a good spouse. So we're going to say character in your spouse. You still have to have good character, but this is what we're focusing on, is them for right now. It's the character that makes a big difference, right? That's a much, much better indicator of if someone's going to be a good husband or they're going to be a good wife. Do they have character? Because, the Bible says you can judge a tree by the fruit it bears, right? So you can, in this instance, and I'm going to use this as an analogy, one of the ways you can judge if someone's going to be a good husband or wife is their actions and the consequences of those actions, right? So instead of just looking for how they look, you should be looking at character. So if you want to go back to those examples I gave you, it was character that got the husband up out of the bed at 2:45 a.m. It was character that had the wife saying, hey, you rest. I'm going to take on all the load that we normally share with the kids and cooking and all that. And I'm going to make sure you get better, temporarily. This is a temporary thing. I'm going to help you get better so you can get back to 100%. So if you are, there's a financial strain, like I said before, or there was a health issue or whatever, it's character. The Bible even says, and there's a story that's used to illustrate something. It's like there's people who build their house on sand, and there's people who build their house on a rock. And so the Bible says that God said, if you hear my word and you listen to it, you're like someone who builds your house on a rock. If you hear it and you don't do it, you're like someone who built your house on the sand. And you say, well, what's the issue? Well, it says that the storm came, right? The winds blew and the floods came, right? When it hit the house that was on the sand, knocked it over, destroyed it. When that same storm, the same wind, the same water hit the house that was on the rock, that one withstood. It outlasted the storm. It was still there afterwards. So when you are looking for a future husband, a future wife, and you want a lifelong, fulfilling marriage, and you want to do it the way God tells you to do it, if you overvalue looks, you will be building your marriage on sand, all right? Placing all your confidence on the looks will be like with the sand, and what's going to happen is remember I said life is going to happen. So when those storms come, when the pressure comes on your marriage, instead of it bringing you guys back to get closer or back together, it's going to drive a wedge in between you, right? And obviously, if the more apart you guys are, the more likely you are to get a divorce. And so it's going to be hard to have a lifelong, fulfilling marriage if you get divorced. I think that's obvious. It should be. If it's not, please, please let me know. I'll help you guys out. But if looking for someone's character is a much better indicator, and that's actually going to help you build your marriage on a rock, because it's actually something that is solid and it can get you through it. And again, when that pressure comes, it'll bring you guys together. So what do we need to do with the rating system? Because the rating system doesn't take into character. It doesn't take character as a factor at all. It doesn't. It's just all looks. So before I tell you what I think, what I'm gonna tell you guys is I want you to think what you're gonna think, and I want you to go in the comments and tell me, how we can fix this rating system, how we can put character into it, right? So this is my idea. If you can have 5 points for looks, and you can have 5 points for character, right? So if someone's a 10 out of 10 on this current rating system, then they would only be a 5 at max, because you can only get 5 points for looks. And then you have to take into account their character. All right. So someone could be, I don't know, maybe they're 4, maybe they're an 8 in looks on the old scale. So now they're a 4. And then, but they have a good character. So maybe they're, we'll say they're a 9. Maybe they got a 5 on character. See, so that's much different. So now a 9, that's much different. And so I think it makes you focus on and get things more into balance. Yes, you should be attracted to whoever you marry, but it can't all be just how they look. Does that make sense? Leave a comment if you got a question. All right. If you got questions, and I want to hear what you guys think, how we can fix this rating system and maybe even change the world. Who knows? But again, thank you for watching the podcast, and go ahead, hit subscribe, hit that like button. Those are the 2 best ways to help me. If you know someone who you're like, hey, this would be great for them, please send it to them, and help them out. But thank you for coming. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time.